Watch out.
Effective.
And what's today? Saturday?
Yes.
Saturday, July 24th. We've got all the subfloor down. We want to start the walls, so we're just looking at the plans and chalk lining and laying out the exterior walls and the interior walls. So we've done a fair bit of it. Exterior walls all the way down, and I don't know how well it's going to show up, but we have the bathroom, that's the bathroom in there, the bedroom in here, the chalk lines, and another bedroom over here, chalk lines once again, and then this plywood will all be cut out here. Let me know when you're good.
Okay, yeah. There we go.
Well, perhaps never in the history of Canadian cottage building has this maneuver ever been attempted. But Anna and I just covered our whole subfloor in poly, 6 mil poly. It looks like that. Now the reasoning behind this is that, first of all, there's 30 sheets of tongue and groove plywood down there at close to $100 a sheet because of the expensive lumber prices during COVID. So that's about $3,000 in lumber. And we move at such a glacial pace that we expect this floor to be exposed for a long time before we ever get a roof over it. And on top of that, we expect this subfloor to be our floor for many years before we ever get around to putting pine or hardwood or who knows what on top of it. It's a cottage after all, and so it'll be a subfloor for quite a while. So we thought, exposed to the weather at the rate that we're building, it'll see so much sun and so much rain that it might get destroyed. So we're going to give this a try, and like I said, this may be a first in Canadian cottage building. We'll let everybody know how it worked out. Well, it didn't take long to have the first test of the prophylactic floor. It's been raining for a while now, and as one would expect, water is pooling on the floor, and it's running off in certain places. So that part worked out pretty good. However, when we walked by the doorway over here, we could hear the ticking of water dropping. And with a flashlight we found that on the far corner down there, water's getting through somehow and it's dripping into the basement. Well, it's Sunday, July 25th, and it rained for about 12 hours straight and really hard at some times. It really came down. So having a look at our 6 mil poly experiment where we covered the whole subfloor, and it looks like it's going to get mixed reviews. Certainly on this side it's held up everywhere. All of our chalk lines held up all the way along, so that's a good thing. There is a couple spots, however, where it looks like a little bit of water got in. Right here, about a foot by a foot, and a little piece there. Everything else looks good down at this end.
Oof. Ooh, that can't be comfortable.
See how she goes.
Our own Zamboni.
Watch out.
It's effective. Wow.
Took a long time for the sun to evaporate all this. So we rolled the plastic back, and we've got some wet spots, of course. Here's the first one. Now this was a much smaller one, just a circle right in here, but when I pushed the squeegee over it, it spread the water out underneath. So, and down at the end here, we had a small spot there and a small spot there. So we'll dry it out, retape everything, and we'll go one more rainstorm. If we've been successful, we'll leave the plastic down for good, and if not, we'll rip it up for good. It's Monday, July 26th, and so the great 6 mil poly tarp wrap the subfloor experiment unfortunately comes to an end. We felt that it was just going to be one fight after another, plugging leaks. So even though it was good in theory, it didn't really work out. So we've left it unfolded, waiting for the sun to evaporate the condensation from last night. And then we're going to take it up and pack it away, hopefully dry, and maybe it can be reused later. So with the poly cover experiment behind us now, we've decided to try and frame our first wall. This is our first wall ever. So we don't really know what we're doing, but we're feeling our way through it. And we've got a window in this particular section of wall, and that is the only fly in the ointment. And we're working from both ends, And on this first one, we're not going to nail it because we figure we might make mistakes. So we're going to screw it from both ends. And it's time to break out our brand new, hard to do with one hand, anyway, brand new driver. We now have 2 DeWalt drivers, and we should be able to work twice as fast. We'll see about that. So this is our first attempt at a wall. We've got all the king studs in, and we put in the interior wall studs right here. That's 2 king studs with blocking in the middle. And over here, we're framing in the window. Done and done?
Done and done. This is great.
The sun just went behind a cloud. It's not supposed to rain today, but the wind just picked up. Black clouds just rolled in, and it's 31 degrees Celsius. And I'm thankful for the clouds, but certainly don't want any rain. I looked into headers and rough openings and that, and discovered that we made a couple of small errors that we're going to correct right now. We have a big picture window that's about 70 inches wide, and when I checked into the building code, if a window is over 60 inches, you have to have double trimmers. We only had a single trimmer. So what we're doing right now, here's the window opening, is we've now added another trimmer here. We haven't fastened it yet, but it's there, cut. And then what we did was we moved this king stud over too, and put 2 trimmers here. And the rough opening now, the window is 70 1/4 inches. Excuse me, 70 1/4 inches, so we'll have maybe 3/4 inches on both sides. we're going to be getting the walls ready to be put up, and the rain came. Now the forecast was for some rain, a little bit, for part of the day. But this morning it's 100% all day, and it's been coming down hard. So, well, the rain let up surprisingly. It was supposed to rain all day and heavy, but it did break, and I canceled my lumber order this morning when it was just coming down cats and dogs. But they're so good, I called them up and asked them could they still send it, and they got it out here by 3 o'clock, which was good. So we've been able to do a little work, and what I'm working on now is building all the headers. I've got 6 headers to build, and I just was cutting up plywood sandwich pieces, 1/2-inch plywood. So I cut a bunch of those up out of old scrap. You'll see them around, and I've just placed them. So the back door, it's got 3 pieces of 2x6 plus 2 1/2-inch sandwiches. Same over here for the bedroom. So I'm doing the lintel or the header over the main door, the front door. It's a 34-inch door, and the pieces that make up the header are going to be 2x6, and they'll be about 39.25 inch each. So I purchased one 10-footer, and I can get 3 pieces out of it, or I should be able to, and that'll make the header for that door. Now it's a pretty thick header. I'm pretty sure code says you only need 2 2x6s. But then I couldn't figure out, if you only use 2, should it be flush with the inside of the house or flush with the outside of the house? So for the sake of another board, I made it flush with both. Pretty substantial looking header though. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning, and it is cold. It was thunder and lightning all last night, and this morning got up in the high winds, and the temperature reached 10 degrees Celsius for July, and with the wind it's got to be in the single digits, so really cold. Hopefully the wind will get rid of some of this water. Rain has been our biggest problem, and it's going to be today too, and tomorrow, and so on. So I have to try and squeeze our work in between raindrops, and see how that goes. But anyway, too cold for the summer. My goodness, single digit degrees in July. That's nuts. Anyway, time for breakfast, and it would be nice if I had oatmeal or something like that, but it'll be raisin bran with skim milk.